Hello and welcome to Just One More Watch. Now, I've admitted this on the channel before, I've been somewhat late to the Seiko party. I only reviewed my first Seiko, the SNZG, about 18 months ago. Now, I bought and sold a number of kind of key pieces at this under $500 US price point since then, but I'm also aware that I've rather missed the boat on a few of their classics that have been discontinued in the last few months. Those being the SARB 033 and 035, whose prices seem to keep skyrocketing, and of course the SARB 017, aka the Alpinist. That, however, is about to change. I got a message a couple of weeks ago from a subscriber called Trevor. He said, "Jody, what's the story? Why haven't you reviewed an Alpinist? Would you like to review mine?" I said, "Yes please Trevor, thank you very much." And he sent me his watch, the original strap, and a strap code Super Jubilee. Let's flip the camera and see just what I've been missing. Let's start with my favourite topic, money. If you want to pick yourself up one of these SARB 017s, you can do, no problem, in spite of the fact that they were discontinued several months ago now. There's one on Amazon, $475 US. I will leave a link to that one in the description of the video. Now please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was pretty much what these were retailing for before they were discontinued. I did see some rather speculative prices, these watches appearing used on forums for considerably more than that, but I think the Alpinist bubble has burst. There is still clearly brand new unopened stock available in Japan, so if you want one, don't be paying more than $475 US for it. If you want to add the Angus Jubilee from Strapcode, you can head over to their website. I will also leave a link to that one in the description below. Their website looks like it was designed in 1996 and hasn't been refreshed since. Unfortunately, the Angus Jubilee is all sold out, but there are plenty of other options if you want to get the Alpinist off the brown leather strap. And I suspect you probably will want to be getting the Alpinist off the brown leather strap. Trevor was kind enough to supply it on a bunch of different straps for me to play around with, and I will do just that today. So then, you clearly can still buy one of these Alpinist watches, but should you? I mean, what is it? It's a Japanese mountaineer's watch. How many of you are Japanese mountaineers? I'm not. It's a funny looking little thing, isn't it? I mean, 39mm in diameter. We've got a very compact 47mm lug tip to lug tip. Only 12 point something mil thick, so it is very nicely dimensioned, nicely proportioned. It wears very well on my 7-inch wrist, as I'll show you later on. 20mm lug width. Now on the supplied strap code Angus Jubilee bracelet, this one weighs in at 150 grams, which is kind of right in the sweet spot. I will put it on the original leather strap and I'll put it on that mesh strap alternative a little later on when we do a strap fashion show, and I'll give you the weight of those respective strap options at the time. Now 316L stainless steel case and a smooth bezel, dual crown here, the second of those crowns operating an inner rotating compass. Again, this pertains to the Japanese mountaineering bit. I haven't bothered to learn how to work this one out because, frankly, I have had no call for it in Sydney city centre. Thankfully, Seiko have broken from tradition and put a piece of proper sapphire crystal on this one, dead flat, as you can see. And this dial is when we're getting into the real love it or hate it type stuff. Strong green colour and a strong sunburst effect. I've got a few outside shots for you coming up a little later on. Automatic Diashock 23 Dual 20 bar printed down there. So this crown is screwed down, giving this one 200 meters of water resistance. Again, unexpected considering it's an Alpinist, it's a mountaineer's watch. Seiko logo there, applied very nicely as well, all in gold, and we've got those polarizing gold Arabics, little gold arrowheads, and the famous gold cathedral hands. Now I'll put up a Loom video. This one's been in the house for a while. It featured in Loom Wars a couple of weeks ago and it did okay for itself. Seiko's proprietary Loomy Bright is well known as being decent. Not much real estate on the dial itself given over to the Loomy Bright on the Alpinist, but there is a decent amount of it in those cathedral hands, so it doesn't do too badly for itself. You're not going to get the same loom as you would from a dive watch though, so don't be fooled thinking that, even though this one has the capability to get wet regularly without much difficulty. Popping a link, you see one good reason for that 200 meters of water resistance. You got a screw down, solid case back, no display case back on this one, but then that's no bad thing in my opinion. Seiko movement's not the prettiest in the world. Stainless steel, obviously, Alpinist logo in the middle, advertising those all important made in Japan, water resistant 200 meters. And the movement, now this is a 6R15 movement. 6R15 is a variant on their 4R series, which in turn is a souped up version of the infamous 7S26. This one features 23 joules, a 50-hour power reserve, and is more shock resistant, more robust, more reliable, and supposedly more accurate than the 4Rs. I'll pop up the accuracy report. Now, is it just me, or are these 6Rs perhaps not all they're cracked up to be? This one didn't really know whether it was Arthur or Martha. Plus 30 seconds adrift to begin with per day, coming into 20, and then coming into plus 4 seconds a day. I'm just not sure what's going on. This is not the first one of these that I've had a slightly mixed experience with. Please leave me a comment. Let me know if these 6Rs are all they're cracked up to be, or it's just my bad luck. Maybe I'm the Jonah and every one of these I touch, I taint for some reason. Case finishing is very nice. Trevor told me not to worry about this one because he had put it through the ringer. He certainly has. Always nice to see another watch being used as it was supposed to. Polish on the sides, little chamfered edges there, but they're very nicely done. Very smooth transition, and we've got some nice, very fine brushing on the lugs. Polishing on that smooth bezel. Rather interesting though, they've only decided to sign one of the crowns. Now this is a popular one, I believe these fit the SKX if you swap out the movement in it for one of the hacking and hand winding ones. The second crown though, they haven't bothered to sign, which is a bit of a disappointment considering it must have been bespoke for the Alpinist. But a really nice, smooth, curved profile to the case nonetheless, meaning that it wears very sweetly indeed. This is it, sitting on my 7-inch wrist, conforming beautifully there, sits flat, sits flush. Very nice indeed on this strap code. I do like this combination, a very nicely balanced combo. You would think with a big chunky 20mm all the way round strap it would be overweighted, considering this is only a 39mm case and there's no protruding bezel, but no, I don't think the watch is overawed by the strap. I think it is still nicely balanced. And there we are, a little higher for perspective, and you can see what I mean about the green sunburst and those gold hands glinting away there. An unusual colour combination, shall we say. But you don't get the nice strap code Angus Jubilee for your $475. You get this instead. This is a genuine leather but faux crocodile print, quite puffed up with an unsigned all brushed buckle. And when I say faux, I mean faux. There is nothing natural or realistic about the printing on that leather at all. It does take a chunk of weight off though, takes it down to about 81 grams, so if you have a smaller wrist or you just don't like as much weight on your watch, then the original is not bad. I don't think Trevor's worn it all that often though, because this one is still pretty stiff, suggesting it hasn't seen as much action as the rest of the watch clearly has. Option number 3 then, kind of a generic mesh, this one splitting the difference in terms of weight at 122 grams. I suppose it retains the kind of tooly, go anywhere, do anything nature of this little watch, by meaning that you can get it wet unlike on the leather, but it's not quite as robust and chunky as the Jubilee. I'm not sure that it goes all that well with the Alpinist though. I think that big gap there on the end link, a little bit of a jolt, a little bit of a visual jolt for me anyway. Green on green, the Alpinist doing its best to disguise itself amongst the grass out in my garden. Not sure how much AR coating is on that piece of sapphire crystal, but certainly there's a little bit of visual interest. The gold on the hands definitely pops in the sunlight, and as mentioned, a nice combination on the Jubilee strap, wears very sweetly. I do enjoy that low profile, only about 12mm, sits very flat to the wrist also. So should you buy one then? Well, I'm not so sure. I came very close to picking myself up one of these in late 2016. Spent a whole evening staring at these glossy images of that green dial, those gold hands and indices on Seiya Japan and various other websites. And then I woke up the next day with a vicious hangover, thankful that I hadn't dropped a number of my hard-earned Aussie dollars on a watch with a green dial and gold hands and indices. And I guess that's what it comes down to. Do you see yourself wearing this one regularly, or is it just going to be a bit of a novelty item? I think if you're a guy with smaller wrists and are bored of dive watches, then this thing has some of the practicality, if not all of the practicality of a dive watch, but in a different package. However, if it was my money, I would probably be going for a diver instead. I think for the 550 odd dollars that it takes to pick up one of these and get a decent strap code bracelet for it, I think there are a plethora of dive watches available that will do as much, if not more, than the Seiko Alpinist. So there you have it, the SARB 017, aka the Alpinist. If you're into this watch, you can pick one up no problem. I think the Alpinist bubble has burst, so to speak, and the prices are now settling back into the level they were at before this model was discontinued. Obviously, once all of the new stock is sold out, you're going to be picking one of these up second hand, so get in now if you're into it. But are you really into it? Is a green dial watch with gold cathedral hands and a completely pointless complication really your cup of tea? I've kind of enjoyed this one. I've enjoyed wearing it. I think it's a great size, and that is a cracking strap. It really is a nice kind of everyday package, but I think there are probably better watches out there if you've only got a small collection. If you've got a big collection though and can see the room in your box for a green dial model, then go for it. There aren't too many of them about. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.